We're officially in the second half of the 2021 Texas high school football season, and every game is only getting more important. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to week 7 of the 2021 Texas high school football season, and this feels like a real Rubicon moment, right? Because last week was the big bye week. 25% of the state was off. This week, district play is underway for pretty much everybody. Consider this. There's 645 Texas high school football games this weekend scattered across the state. Only 55 of them are non-district games. That's right. All these games have major implications as far as who's in, who's out, who's making the playoffs, who's hanging up pads come November, and who's going to have an opportunity to fight for a place at AT&T Stadium. Big games everywhere you look. We start in Montgomery County. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Montgomery ISD Stadium. It's a matchup of unbeatens in the 5A ranks as the Montgomery Bears welcome in the Bryan Rudder Rangers. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, all grown up. This is a really interesting Montgomery squad, in large part because of the experience that they have at the skill position. Quarterback Brock Bolfing, the coach's son, has been a 4-year starter for the Bears, and he has really grown into the role. I'm awfully impressed at the maturity that he shows at the QB spot. And the running back spot as well, Jalen Washington, who's a real star, real game breaker for this Bears team. He is a 4-year starter as well, started ever since he was a freshman. Now, this is a Rudder defense that has made some plays this year, led by their safety Trey McClinton, but I'm not sure that they have faced an offense as explosive and as experienced as this Bears attack is going to be. So, can Montgomery's experience at the skill position shine through, or will Rudder snuff it out? Key number 2, Ezar does it. Let's talk a little bit about the other coach's kid at the quarterback spot in this game, in E.J. Ezar, the quarterback for Bryan Rudder, and this kid has been magnificent, a dual-threat quarterback who would do a little bit of everything. He's already thrown for 13 touchdowns this year. I'm a believer that if he was just a couple inches taller, he'd be on everybody's recruiting radar. That's neither here nor there. Jaquez Martin, their star freshman wide receiver, has stepped up in a big way, but make no mistake, the straw that stirs the drink for this Rudder offense is E.J. Ezar. Now, he can be a little bit loose with the football. He's thrown a number of interceptions this year, and that is where Mason White at the safety spot for Montgomery could be a big-time playmaker. Can E.J. Ezar, on the big stage, step up in a big way? And key number 3, a suddenly important game. In the grand scheme of District 10 5A Division II, before the year, we kind of looked at A&M Consolidated and Huntsville and said, all right, you two duke it out, the rest of you guys figure out the rest of it. Montgomery was picked 3rd in Dave Campbell's Texas football in this district, and Bryan Rudder was picked 5th. They were picked to miss the playoffs. Well, suddenly, these two teams are undefeated more than halfway through the regular season. And suddenly, these two teams are in a position to take the front-runner position in District 10 5A Division II. Now, they've still got a tough road to hoe, and A&M Consolidated ain't going away, and Huntsville could figure it out, and Montgomery Lake Creek is very solid as well. It's a tough district, but the winner of this game is going to be in the catbird seat here, and is going to feel really good not only about making the playoffs, but maybe bringing home a district championship. So, on this big stage, with suddenly a lot on the line, who steps up? Who am I picking? I'm going with Montgomery. I think being home helps here, but also I think the offensive balance that they have is really important. Jalen Washington, I think, is so important to what they do in that big offensive line, blows open holes and lets him cook out of the backfield. Furthermore, Brock Bolfing has been a star taking care of the football for Montgomery. That's what they're going to need in this one. For Rudder, I think that they want to get the score up. I think that they want to get this into a track meet, let E.J. Ezar cook a little bit, and make this a high possession game. Get this game into the 30s or the 40s, because I think that Montgomery may have a defensive advantage in this one. I think this game's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see these two teams in a big spotlight, but I think Montgomery gets the win. Let's go to 4A now. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Willie Williams Stadium in Belmead on the north side of Waco. It is a state-ranked 4A Division I clash between the unbeaten Stephenville Yellow Jackets and the Waco Vega Pirates. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, Jackets under the radar. Haven't talked a ton about Stephenville, right? And yet here they are, 5-0, looking really good now in the top 3 of Dave Campbell's Texas football's 4A Division I rankings, and just kind of doing their thing. New quarterback Ryder Lambert has been exceptional, a 19-1 TD to interception ratio. That'll play. And 12 of those touchdowns have gone to their star wide receiver, Coy Eakin. The defense has been very solid with linebacker Reese Young, but this is probably their biggest test to date. Going up against this La Vega team that has really turned the corner and is looking very, very good. So, can Stephenville, now that they're firmly on everybody's radar, step up? Key number 2, La Vega's slow cooker. It's fall, we're getting out our crock pot, right? You want to make a little bit of soup. You're going to get the stock, you're going to get some vegetables, maybe some meat in there, things like that. But it's not ready right away, right? You need it to cook a little bit. You need it to simmer. It's going to take some time. But when it's finished, it's going to be good because it all comes together in one pot. That is a metaphor for what Waco La Vega is. Okay? Coach Don Hyde's squads famously are not a finished product in week 1. They want to grow and get better every single week, and I think that's what you're starting to see here with guys like Nick Xavier Rice and Diedrick Brawley. They have got big-time playmakers who can start to cook a little bit. This big, physical, power-running team is starting to look good. The defense is starting to really knock some heads, and that is what La Vega football is all about. Their last game against Corpus Christi Miller, I think they started to turn a corner, and they're starting to do that kind of thing where La Vega starts to get better, starts to coalesce, starts to be a team you do not want to face. So, is the La Vega slow cooker ready just in time for district play? And key number 3, styles make fights. So these are two pretty polar opposite types of teams, right? Stephenville, offensively, they want to air it out, right? We mentioned Ryder Lambert, the big offense. They want to throw and get out and run and wide open spread, right? And La Vega is kind of the opposite. They just want to line it up and run it at you. And that big physical offensive line, they want to play physical smash mouth football. And that's what makes games like this, especially in a district context, so much fun to watch. Because which of these teams is able to impose their will? Which of these teams are able to set the tone of this game? If this is a low-scoring slugfest type game, Waco La Vega loves it. They want to get in the slop. They want to get in the muck. They want to be in a street fight. For Stephenville, they would love to get in a shootout. They would love to get out there and run and use that track speed that they've got to really run away from La Vega. So, if styles make fights, which style wins out here? Who am I picking? I'm going with La Vega. I think that the defense is the difference in this one. Guys like Darian White and Marcus Cobb, I think, are the game breakers for this La Vega team, and I think that they really are starting to turn into something special, right? That defense has been consistent from day one, basically, and they are starting to really turn it on and be that physical team that Don Hyde likes to have this time of year. Now, I think that, again, Stephenville's going to have the playmakers, right? Coy Eakin on the outside, and if Ryder Lambert can have a big game, then Stephenville is absolutely capable of winning this game. But for now, I think that La Vega's got the edge here. Give me the Pirates. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Highlander Stadium in Dallas. It is a 5A Division I showdown between the Longview Lobos and the Highland Park Scots, and Longview will try to become the third team since 1998 to knock off the Scots at home. You know, I think Brendan Storer, the quarterback for Highland Park, is really growing into the role. I've been awfully impressed with the defense, led by defensive end Jack Curtis, but this is going to be a different type of team that they're going to face this week because Longview is physical. Their offensive line and their running game. With Jarrett Lewis, the running back, they're starting to figure things out offensively, and that is pretty scary, especially considering they've got wide receiver Jalen Hale on the outside. I think this game is going to be a lot of fun, and of course, a state-ranked matchup between these two teams is always going to bring out the eyeballs. But I do think that Highland Park at home is just awfully tough to beat. Give me the Scots. 7 o'clock Friday night at Mart ISD Athletic Complex. It's a battle of unbeatens in 2A Division II as the Mart Panthers take on the Chilton Pirates. Mart's probably the quietest number 1 team in the state, right, in 2A Division II, and part of it is because they just haven't been challenged. They've just been mowing people down in that typical Mart way. Clydarian Campbell, their running back, has been great. Trey Powell, the new quarterback, has stepped up in a big way, and their defense has been great. Well, here's Chilton. Chilton is a bit of a surprise undefeated, and I think that quarterback McKellar Cook is a big reason why, but also their defense, which has allowed 2 total points in their last 3 games. Yeah, so this is the first real test for Mart in a lot of ways, especially that offense up against this really good Chilton defense. I think this game has a chance to be very interesting, but I do think that Mart is the favorite, especially at home. Give me the Panthers. And 7 o'clock Friday night at Grande Communications Stadium in Midland. It's a battle in the Little Southwest Conference as the Wolfforth Friendship Tigers visit the Midland Legacy Rebels. Very impressed by Wolfforth Friendship this year. Jay Northcutt has done a great job turning around the Tigers. They were 3-6 last year, off to a 4-2 start, thanks in large part to their quarterback, Chad Ferries, who has stepped up in a big way. Defense, mostly good as well. Well, here comes Midland Legacy. I think the front runners in the Little Southwest Conference, and they have dudes. Most notably, their running back, Michaelan Young. Our friend Mike Roach at 247 Sports is fond of calling him Quadzilla, and if you see him, you can see why. He's already over 1,000 yards rushing, but they can spread the ball around a little bit as well. Sophomore quarterback Marcos Davila has certainly done his part. Now, the Legacy defense, a little up and down. They'll need to be up for this one for a big challenge from the Tigers, but I do think Legacy at home is going to have the difference. I think the Rebels get the win. But those are far from the only big games in Week 7 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I like Wichita Falls Rider over Abilene Wiley. Give me Burton to take down Somerville, and I like Salina to take down Aubrey. I like Vanderbilt Industrial over Orange Grove. I see what you're doing, Brent Davis. Give me Gregory Portland over Victoria West. And I like Jim Ned over Early in a battle of unbeatens. I like Abernathy over Reagan County. 100th meeting between Texas High and Marshall. I think the Tigers get the win. And new number 1 in 4A Division I, Austin LBJ, lives up to the billing. They beat Canyon Lake. I like El Paso Franklin over El Paso Eastlake. Give me Bernie to take down Pleasanton. And Battle of Unbeatens in the capital city, I like Austin Westlake over Austin Bowie. Wink over Seagraves. I like Newton to take down New Waverly. And Navasota gets by Smithville. Battle of Unbeatens in the Rio Grande Valley. I like Harlingen South over San Benito. Battle of Unbeatens in the Alamo City. I like San Antonio Brennan over San Antonio Taft. And give me Denton Geyer to take down Denton Braswell. Friona stays perfect with a win over Tulia. I like Devine to take down Carrizo Springs, and Mansfield Summit beats Richland. Cameron Yost starting to get going. I think they beat Academy. Give me West Rusk over ARP, and I like West Orange Stark over Silsby. Livingston over Lumberton, Christoval over Rock Springs, and big game in Humble, I like Atascocita over Summer Creek. Battle of Unbeatens in Southeast Texas, I like Nederland over Texas City. Give me Amarillo Tascosa over rival Amarillo, and Vega takes down Groover. Give me Centerville over Alto. I like Mercedes to stay perfect with a win over Sharyland, and give me Cibolo Steel over New Braunfels. Battle of Unbeatens in the Alamo City. I like Alamo Heights over Floresville. Give me Franklin to take down Rogers, and give me Lindsay to take down Collinsville. Denison beats Lake Dallas. I like Henrietta over Wichita Falls Cityview, and in our 6-man game of the week, it's a good one. I like Anton over Whit Harrell. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Week 7 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.